Hello everyone, it's Tana. Welcome back to the channel and another video for the Rabbit Hole Designs. So today we're going to make 5 cards, if you can believe it, with stencils. That's it. Some stencils and some sentiments. So here you see me tracing the butterfly stencil from the latest release with a pencil and some vellum. And this was the first thing I did when I started to plan out my cards, and I almost didn't use either one of these, but I did end up making a card at the end because I liked the way it looked. So I'm going to trace it out, and then I'm going to go over it with a fine-tipped black marker, and then I'm going to color the back of my vellum with my Copic markers. You can use any markers you want. Just be careful that if you're not using an alcohol-based marker, that it may bleed if you add glue or something else to it. So I did it on the back so it would look like stained glass on the front, and I'm going to spare you most of the coloring. I didn't go with any kind of theme. I just picked one color at a time to what I thought would look good on a butterfly, and then I end up filling in all the empty spaces with black. Now you can see I kind of connect with a pencil the shape that the butterfly wings should be in, because I will cut these images out. And of course it's not, the stencil isn't cut completely around the butterfly. So now I'm using my black Copic marker to go around all the colored, multicolored pieces, shapes of the butterfly wings. And there they are there. Now I'm going to take the Amanda stencil, and this is either from the last release or the release before that, and I love this stencil and I didn't get a lot of chance to use it. So we're going to use it on a piece of black cardstock, and I'm using 2 oxide inks. I have the colors listed on the screen for you. And I just kind of mixed and matched those across my A2 size panel. Excuse me for the door in the background. I did warn people I was doing voiceovers tonight. Nobody listens. Sorry guys. So I made sure I blended my edges of those colors so there was no harsh lines on my panel. And I think it turned out really cool on the black cardstock. I like the way it turned out, those 2 colors. And now I'm going to take these 4 pieces of black cardstock. I powdered them up really good with a powder tool. And I'm going to use my Versamark ink pad. And I'm inking right through the stencil here. Now on this first one, I left it in to show you. Now this is supposed to be holographic. Turns out it's silver holographic. But if you notice when it's all heat set, there's a whole bunch of embossing powder around the image. And I realized it was because I used pixie spray on my stencil. So don't do that. I washed it off as best I could, the pixie spray. But I still had to flip my stencil to the other side so it wouldn't leave residue on the other cardstock. So now I'm going to take a bunch of glittered cardstocks, or glittered embossing powders, excuse me, and I kind of sprinkled them all over to make these guys here. On that last one, I just used a Wow embossing powder called Halo, which I think was inspired by Catherine Pooler. And on this piece of black cardstock, I ink blended one side with Wilted Violet and the other side with dried Marigold Distress Oxide ink. And after that dried completely, I'm going to use that to ink blend 2 more butterflies. One is with Festive Berries, and I did that on the dried Marigold side. And those are 2 colors I wouldn't normally put together, but with the black cardstock, all bets are off because everything looks completely different. After I ink blended the butterfly on with the oxide ink, I immediately poured the Halo embossing powder over it. Did the same thing with the other butterfly. I put peacock feathers over the Wilted Violet side and went over it again with the Halo embossing powder, and then heat set both of those. And look how pretty and gorgeous they came out. Honestly, camera does not do those 2 butterflies justice, so I hope the photos turn out really good so you guys can see. Just using the one solid color with the halo brought out multicolor iridescent image on that butterfly itself. So for this second background here, I traced out using the Build Your Garden stencil. And I did that with pencil. Now we're going to go through and color all of it with gel pens. I used the gold from the Pear Blossom Press Essential Gel Pens. And then I used some Jelly Roll glitter gel pens. I have to say, the gel pen that worked the best was the gold one from the Pear Blossom Press Essential Pen Pack. The other ones I had to keep rolling the roller ball in the pen tip on another sheet of paper because it kept like stopping or clogging. I don't know what was going on, and it happened with almost every color of the Jelly Roll pens. But I do think that the end result turned out really cool on the black cardstock. And then for the rest of our backgrounds, we're going to use some of this Galaxy paper from the Galaxy paper pad from Rabbit Hole Designs. And I'm going to use I forget what the stencil is called, but it's got the swirl of stars and it says Make a Wish on it. And maybe aim for the stars. And I went over the first one, which is just the black and white Galaxy paper with black holographic embossing powder. And then I did another one on the purple Galaxy paper with pearl embossing powder. So pearlescent, maybe. And on the last one, I didn't do any embossing at all. You'll see that at the end. So now it's time to start putting these cards together. I have a light gray card base, a dark gray card base, a white card base, a black card base in slimline, and A2 size. So there's 2 black card bases. So this one here, the slimline card, I put a piece of Hollow Waves cardstock behind that panel from Tonic. Popped it up on some foam tape, and I'm going to use one of the iridescent butterflies for that guy. And we'll put that together in a second. For the second card, I went along and I put all the card fronts on the card bases and matched up which butterfly looked the best with each background. And then I just showed you there, I took some sentiments from the Bunny Moon, Come Fly With Me, and Butterfly Kiss stamp sets. And I heat emboss those with super bright white, super fine Wow embossing powder. There you go, fine detail embossing powder. And then I also cut out the word hello with a die from my stash. Built that up with 3 layers of black cardstock and the Hollow Waves cardstock that I used on that slimline card. And that one's simply going to say hello. So I matched up all the butterflies. I only glued them down in the centers where their bodies were. Folded their wings up a little bit so they would look as if they were landing on the cards. Popped up all the sentiments with foam tape. And then I added jewels to each card. So for the slimline card, we have some yellow jewels just in the centers of the flowers. On this beautiful purple Galaxy paper, we have some purple jewels. On the black and white, I have these white sparkly jewels in the center of some of the larger stars. Excuse me, and then I put some other jewels where there were no stars because I thought it looked empty. And now I'm going to show them all to you really quick. I have some photos here at the end for you guys. Let me know which card was your favorite. And that's it for this video, guys. We will see you in the next video. Don't forget to follow the design team in the Rabbit Hole Designs Facebook group and on Instagram. There's inspiration almost every day. And don't forget to sign up for the Rabbit Hole Designs email so you can be aware of new releases and more inspiration. And we will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now, guys.